Hey, hello, my name is Bill. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a great recipe. It's called Chicken Divan. It's a recipe that my mom used to make. It was like her go-to for dinner parties. It's really simple, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of different. And basically, what I do is I start with some boneless chicken breast. Now what I like to do is I'll take a whole breast, I'll cut it in half, trim it up if there's anything on it, like sometimes you get a little bone tissue or fat, and wrap them in plastic. And then I put them all in a plastic bag and get them out when I'm ready to make it. So it's pretty simple. So the second I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut these up. I also wanted to show you that what I do is I take my favorite Vision baking dish and I put a frozen bag of broccoli, just the flowerets in it, let them thaw. You can use fresh if you want. This is just, I'm trying to keep things easier for my channel. But we're going to have this all ready to rock and roll. And now I'm going to show you how we're going to cut these chicken breasts up. I figure I'm only going to need about 3 of the breast to cover the broccoli in that pan. Really depends on the size, so as we get into it, we'll learn a little more about it. These they're a little bit frozen. It just makes it a little easier to cut, especially if you've never done this before. I've cut a lot of chicken, so I'm pretty used to it. You need to use a boning knife. It's a thin bladed knife. Basically, you find the fat part of it, the thickest part of it, and we're just going to push the blade all the way through to the other side. And we're going to cut right down the middle. Keep your fingers behind where the blade is. And you can't do this wrong because you're going to get down to that thin part. That. Then all we're going to do is we're going to find where that blade was, and we're going to come back and cut through that thick part. So see, it's cut in half. Wasn't that easy? Really wasn't that hard. I'm going to show you one more real quick. Then we'll move on to the next step. That's great. Like I said, these have already been trimmed up. Skin, a nice thick part of it. Push the blade through. Just going to work it forward. I bet you if you are friends with a butcher, he'll do this for you. Wasn't that easy? Come out perfect. Got some heat up here for me. Alright. So now what I'm going to do, got a clean hand, dirty hand. I'm going to take chicken breast. Just want to get a little bit of flour on it. I'm just going to dredge it just a little bit. Because I've cut them so thin, they're thawing like instantly. Okay, let's move on over here. Got some butter in a pan. Nice and hot for me. All I want to do When that's starting, I'm going to rinse my hand off. So once I show you how we're going to do this, we'll take a little break. I'll finish cutting up the last chicken breast and getting it dredged and sauteed a little bit here in the skillet. Doesn't take long. These are really thin chicken breasts. I just want to get a little color. So because they've been dredged in flour, it's not like you're trying to keep from sticking. It's just, you know, a non-stick pan, but you want them to sit, so it gets that flour stuck to it. If you move around, you're just going to knock all the flour out. Can't hear it, but it is sizzling a little bit here. Just as much as I want it to. And you can start to see, you know, chicken turns white when it's cooked. So I can start to see on the edges that we're getting, especially on the first piece, which was a little thinner. Yeah, it's funny, this is a good go-to recipe when you just want to make your friends go, oh, isn't that exciting? Isn't that great? How'd you make this? Wait till you see some of the secrets that make this so great. Alright. It's really hard. I want to do something with these pieces of chicken. Gotta slap my hand and keep from doing it. Getting the results we want, so we're okay. The other thing is, the more chicken we cook, the following up pieces are going to have a little more color to them, just because the butter's going to burn a little bit. First ones always look a little lighter. But you still have that nice coating of flour. It's just a little dredging. It's not like they're not going to be like fried chicken. And as you need to, like anything else, just add a little more butter as the pan starts to get dry, because you do want to keep enough butter in here that it's kind of absorbing into the flour, part of the cooking process. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. I've got my broccoli right here. What I'm going to do is we're cutting these pieces. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. I want to get it all laid out in there. I want to try and cover it as solid as I can. See how we're starting to get that color. Just want to show you to this how we start. Right? And I'm going to lay this piece this end. Good. And we're going to put this piece here. I'm going to go ahead and I want to finish this up for you, so we'll be back in a minute after I get my chicken all cut and sauteed. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I finished up the chicken pieces. Just like I thought, it took 3 breasts. It covers most of the broccoli. There's some little holes, but that's okay because we're going to pour some of the sauce through it. So to make the sauce, it's really simple. I'm starting with a 1/4 cup of butter, which is half a stick, and I'm getting this melted down. It's just about there. Like I said, this is pretty simple, and it really tastes great. I'm looking forward to being able to eat it. My pan's lined with the broccoli, got the chicken on top. I got my rounded round bottom pan and my whisk, so I can get all the little stuff all mixed together. And I'm seeing just good. butter was still in the refrigerator. I was a little delinquent on that, so it was cold. So, and I don't want to turn up the heat real hot on the butter because I don't want it to get too overcooked and start to bubble and burn. Okay, just want to melt it. And once we start our roux, it doesn't matter, we can turn up the heat a little bit. We're mixing everything together. Okay. It's almost done. Like I said, you just want to get a little color on the chicken. Don't worry about it being cooked through because it's going to spend a half hour in the oven. And those are really thin pieces of chicken. Alright, so I've got a 1/4 cup of flour. Just going to dump that in here. Once again, a simple, typical kind of roux. Just going to beat it around until we get all those flour lumps out. All mixed up. Got a 1.5 cups chicken broth. I'm going to slowly start to add. Stir. Sounds to me like the pan's a little bit hot. Just keeping those from getting lumpy. And everyone has their opinion on roux, but I just think this is the simplest, easy way to do it. So it gets pasty until we get right down to the end. Sometimes I get a little aggressive with the whisk and splatter it all around when you're trying to get it done, so just be gentle. I do have this pan and this whisk on my Amazon account, so I'll list it below, the links below if you want to try it. Pretty inexpensive little tools, and as you can see from all the cooking I've done, I use it quite a bit. Whisks just don't fit in pans that have a square bottom. Now it's like icing. Still got a 1/2 cup to go. All blended together. Let it create. The other thing that's good is when you cook a roux slowly like this, you're really cooking that kind of raw flour flavor out of it. You just try and mix it all together real quick. It just doesn't taste right. But still, after you get it all together, you want to make sure that it cooks on for about a minute. And that's going to be the time it takes for us to add all the other ingredients. I just like being real slow so I get the best consistency possible. Just about done. You could use any kind of broth or stock if you wanted. It just depends on the flavor profile you're looking for. I just figured with chicken, I use chicken, I always have chicken stock. Kind of pantry. And a 1.5 cups is just a little less than a can. A can's 14 ounces and this calls for 12. So get everything all in, nice and blended together. Make sure I don't boil it all away here. So right now we've got about gravy consistency. Excellent. So to this, I need about 4 tablespoons of sherry. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is just a dry sherry. Don't buy the real cheap stuff. You'll be sorry because it'll taste like cheap stuff in the end. Now we just want to cook that down just a little bit because we only want the flavor in there. If you know anything about alcohol, if you put it in the beginning and cook it down, you're going to have a much more intense flavor. It's not what I'm necessarily looking for here. To this, while it's cooking, I'm going to splash about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Oh darn, that's a secret. I'm supposed to tell you. I want to grind a little white pepper in here. White pepper just so the black flakes don't show up and make people think you have bugs. Alright. Let's get everything going real quick here. Get about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. This is just like a stone ground. It's not regular creamy Dijon like you think about. It just adds a little different flavor and texture that I like. But I use whatever I have in the fridge or on the shelf. Now let's mix together. So to make a perfect cheese sauce, I got just about a cup of cheddar here. Just want to mix this in. I turn the heat down low because now I really don't need it to boil. We've got it as thick as we want it to be. And this is the part where I know for sure that the flour has cooked for a full minute because it's going to take about that long to get it. This cheese melted. And what makes it a really classic recipe is I have half a cup of whole milk with half a cup of mayonnaise in it. It's easier to measure by displacement, so you're going to want to put half a cup of milk in here and add the mayonnaise till it reads a cup. Just going to turn off the heat. Just want to set it off here. Shouldn't take long to get this all whisked together, nice and creamy. And you get, the vinegar and flavor from the mayonnaise. It really adds to this. Please don't try this with salad dressing or aka Miracle Whip. I think it'd be really sweet. And as you can see, there are no lumps. This is really smooth. Nice texture. So let's see if Steady Eddie can pull this off. Can't put this on the burner, probably not do so well. I want to just use this to cover the broccoli, the chicken. It's more about the broccoli. The chicken can stick its head out on top. And if you think this is too thick, you can always add a little more, the rest of that chicken broth. Unfortunately, I'm not really good at doing this left-handed. So I'm just going to get a little more to the corner here. Alright, how do we make this a little bit better? I'm going to see where those pieces of chicken were, and I'm just going to put a little Swiss cheese on top. I don't need to really overdo it. Just, and if you have to, you can tear some of this up. I think that's all I need. I'm going to go in the oven for half an hour, and we'll be back and we'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. See you back in 30 minutes. Alright, it's been half an hour. I'll let it sit for a couple minutes. It smells really good. You can really smell the sherry. Can't wait to try it. See if I can just dish up a little piece here. Into there. I wish you could smell this. The cherry and the nutmeg together is really great. So what we have here, beautiful piece of chicken, a little broccoli, great cream sauce, and I think this is really something that's fun and easy to make. I hope you enjoy it. Please comment, ask questions, and of course subscribe, and have a great day.